We've never done an interview like this on the Sports Card Madness channel, but I'm about to sit down with someone who has hidden $2 million of treasure all across the United States in 5 chests. That treasure includes things like a PSA 9 Jordan rookie card and a moon rock and many other crazy things. All the clues to find this treasure are actually inside a book that he recently published that is now out of stock. I've got a copy of it, and I try to crack them and see if I can get any more information out of it. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness. I'm Nick. I'm here with John Collins Black, and this is going to be a wild one. This guy right here, he hid $2 million of treasure. We'll get into where or possibly, where it could be. And that treasure actually includes a Michael Jordan PSA 9 rookie card and a first edition Charizard, and also moon rocks, which is crazy. And John's an interesting dude. I think he made a lot of his money in Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. So, John, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to talk to you.
Thanks for having me on, Nick. I appreciate it.
It's cool. I was also a big Dungeons and Dragons player. I was a wicked nerd back in the 80s and 90s.
Right on.
The Master Handbook and everything. And I'm like, is that going to help me or hurt me? So, all right, this is crazy. What is the size, like the dollar value in today's dollars of the treasure you've hidden everywhere?
Yeah, it's really impossible to say for sure. I spent over $2 million of my own money acquiring all these different objects that are in the treasures. But that was a few years ago, and the price of gold and Bitcoin has gone up. And I also really made a concerted effort to find objects that were either very rare, one of a kind, and objects that I thought would increase in value. So that if, it took 3 or 5 or 7 or 10 years for someone to find one of the treasure boxes I've hidden, then the value of the treasure would be potentially much more valuable than it was when I actually purchased it. So it's actually impossible to know exactly what it's worth today, but it's well north of 2 million, probably closer to 3 at least.
So I listed 2 cards that are in the treasures. What are some of the other interesting things? I know there's a moon rock. What else do we have?
So we have about 65 to 70 unique objects. I wanted to get things that would appeal to a wide range of ages and interests, and I think I achieved that. So we have a lot of historical items. We have things that were owned by George Washington, Amelia Earhart, Jackie Onassis, who was Jackie Kennedy when she was in the White House. We have an item that gold pendant that was created and designed by Pablo Picasso. I have 2 original pages of Henry David Thoreau's journal. So I have a lot of historical items. The moon rock is in there. There's also a very rare meteorite that's in there. Of course, I have things like gold and precious gems and precious metals. And then I have, the cultural things such as the Pokemon card. So I actually have 2 different Charizard cards.
Okay.
I have the Shining Charizard First Edition 2002, and then the 1999 Charizard Holo First Edition. So, and then there's, of course, the 1986 Michael Jordan rookie card, 9 of 10 mint. Superior grade by PWCC. Supposedly, the owner of PWCC claims it's the best 9 he's ever seen in his entire career. So,
well, if somebody finds that, they should take it to Beckett and try to get a pristine label if it's really that nice of a 9. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
One of my, I'm a big collector. I love the 86 Fleer sets. Why I found you. I have the entire 86 Fleer set autographed, every card, stickers and base cards and everything, and slabbed. Which has been kind of a fun journey. So I know
what's crazy about the Fleer cards is, I don't know how old you are, but when I was a kid, you could go to a local convenience store. I remember visiting my grandparents and walking down the street to a local convenience store, and you could get like 5 cards and a pack of gum for like $1.
Oh yeah, or 25
or maybe 50 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 cents, right? And it's so ironic because back then I just wanted gum.
Oh yeah, throw out the cards and eat the gum, yeah. Of course, man. Especially with Garbage Pail Kids, that was another big thing with me back then. It's crazy. Now each pack, pack goes for $2-3 grand. The box, I got one up there. I bet it's like 150 grand or something like that. It's crazy. So it's funny what things, and then all the baseball we collected, it's just firewood. It's crazy. All right, so you put this list together to make it sort of eclectic and
Yeah.
wide-ranging,
Yeah.
different values, could do different things over time. How long did it take you to hide everything? Just pausing the episode here quick to tell you about DraftKings' new app, Pick Six. If you think your team is going to score more than 100 points, or your favorite point guard is going to score more than 4 3-pointers, this is how it works. You actually pick 2 to 6 players of the same sport, and you choose if they will have more or less of a stat: points, assists, rebounds, whatever. You lock them in, you compete against other opponents for a shot at big cash prizes. If you download the new DraftKings Pick Six app now, you can actually use code MADNESS6. That will allow you to play $5 and actually get $50 in credits guaranteed. Now back to the show.
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I joke about it in my book, but I'm not really joking. It's true. That, the reason I hid 5 treasure boxes, so I hid 5 treasure boxes, for you, I don't know if your listeners know that, spread out in 5 different parts of the country. And the reason I didn't hide just one treasure box was that I wanted it to feel like and actually be like there might be something close to almost everyone,
Mm-hmm.
something that was attainable in distance. If there was a one box that, the United States is a big place and a lot of people don't have the means or ability to travel very far. So I was like, oh, this will be great. I'm going to hide 5 treasure boxes. And I had no idea what that meant at the time. It just sounded like a really cool idea. But to hide 5 treasure boxes is really difficult.
Huh.
I had to do a ton of pre-planning. I had to try to narrow down regions. Then I would go and I'll tell you, I had searched for treasure myself, so I already knew this aspect. No matter how far you zoom in on Google Maps, once you get to a location, any location, it looks completely different being on the ground than it does like looking at it from a computer. So I knew there was only so much I could do in prep. And then when I would get there, I just had to be boots on the ground and I had to hike around. I had to do reconnaissance. I had to visit several different areas in a region. I made several trips to different parts of the country at different times over the course of a couple of years. I figure I probably
Wow.
hiked over 100 miles, just trying to find 5 places that I thought would be really awesome.
Now, are any of these actually buried? Like
No,
actually buried treasure?
no. So like this is a thing I've noticed. So when I tell people about the treasure hunter, they hear about it. Their mind often just uses the word buried, and I think it's some sort of
Yeah.
like word in our subconscious. We buried treasure. This is hidden treasure. It is actually not buried. In fact, there was a Inside Edition interview that came out the other day, and the whole thing was like they were promoting buried treasure. I'm like, I never said that. I said the exact opposite. And that's important because
Mhm.
none of the treasures are hidden on private property, and no one should be digging up public lands. And so I want to make that clear. Like they're hidden, they're maybe concealed, they're
And
not
not on private
really
property. So you're not like
obvious.
breaking into somebody's,
Right, they're not on private property and they're not buried. So please don't be digging up
All right.
any
So
place.
they are all publicly accessible.
Yes,
Okay. That's interesting. That actually helps a lot. That's kind of where my mind was going with this.
yes, yes.
Um, yeah. So are there any ways? So this book, it's called, I actually have it right here. There's treasure inside. So supposedly this book has all the clues you need to find these different items and these pieces of
Yeah,
treasure. Is there
yeah.
any way somebody should be thinking as they read the book, or any tips for them? Like, how should you absorb the information in the book and try to translate it into a map or directions?
That's a great question. I didn't want to create some sort of grand cipher that was only a genius could, figure out. I wanted there to be a variety of different clues for a variety of different, maybe types of brains and personalities.
Uh-huh.
Um, putting the clues together was something I did over the entire 4 to 5 year period that I was doing this. So some of the clues in the book are old, some of them were added right near the end. What I would say about this is all the clues that you need are in the book. The book itself is the arc of the book is really influenced by the histories of the items in the treasure. So I had 5 researchers who helped me research for 6 months all the information about all the different historical interest about every item. And then we culled out the best stories. And so there's some really amazing, fun, inspirational, exciting, unbelievable stories in the book. And so each chapter kind of has a theme that is highlighted by one of the treasure items, or maybe more than one of the treasure items. And each title of each chapter kind of gives you the information on how maybe you should view the treasure hunt and maybe how you should go about actually trying to solve it. So the actual arc of the book is kind of instructional in that way.
Okay. And they are all in the United States. This isn't a worldwide treasure hunt,
Yes,
right?
this is a United States only treasure hunt, so somewhere within the 50 states of the United States.
All right. So yeah, we won't narrow
But
it
not
down to
Puerto Rico. Some people have asked me, does that include Puerto Rico? It does not include Puerto Rico.
fair enough. Yeah, very interesting. The MJ one I find fascinating. The other question I have, as I was personally trying to figure out with the MJ, is will it be in a place where you've got to request access, or is it just a place that you can just publicly access without permission and things like that?
Yeah, everything is publicly accessible. Yeah,
Okay,
everything.
perfect.
All
That's
five treasure boxes.
excellent. Now, what about, are there, like, if you're, I don't know, near the area or you're getting warm, are there any symbols or hidden hints or anything like that? Like you left something somewhere for somebody to be like, "Oh, I'm getting close."
No, I did not graffiti anything. I did not leave. I did not damage any public lands or mark any public lands anyway. There might be landmarks, but not anything that I created.
Got it, got it. And are the locations based on the items, or are any of them important to you historically or culturally, or in some other way?
I mean, I am really excited about where all five of them are hidden. A couple of them I had a kind of a closer idea, a better idea of where I wanted to go. Some of them I just found through research and kind of geography, because I did want the treasures to be spread out across the country. But at the end of the day, like I really liked each place that I hit it, and that's one of the reasons I took so long to search.
All right. Last question before we give you a chance to talk about the book and where
Yeah.
to find it and everything. When do you think the first chest will be found? 100 years, 50 years, 2 years? When do you think it will be found?
This is a question I asked myself, Nick, every day that I was putting this together because, am I making it too easy? Is it going to be too hard? How long is it going to take? Um, I don't know. Like, I would not be surprised if one treasure box gets found next year, but I only say that because I've noticed that, like, there's been such a groundswell of, like, interest in this. There's
Ooh.
so many people searching. And unlike when I was searching for treasure, like, close to 10 years ago, this is a very collaborative effort. A lot of people are teaming up. There's, like, Discord channels with thousands of
Oh,
people
yeah.
talking and sharing information. And so, like, I don't know. Like, there's a collective mind power that might bring one home earlier. But I think that, like, I don't want it to go too far. I think 5 to 10 years maybe is a good time frame because the reason I say that is I want is long enough for people to find out to be able to participate, right? And I think sometimes if things are found too easy, it's fun, but it's not. It kind of like depreciates the lure of it
Right,
all.
right. I
And so
imagine
hopefully,
if it goes
hopefully it takes a
past
little bit of time.
if it goes past 10 years and you start to get itchy, you could be like, "All right, it's Pennsylvania," or something like
Well,
that.
that was the thing, right? I always knew that I could always, somehow provide more information if in the future if necessary. But we're a long ways from that. The book launched less
Yeah.
than a month ago, so we'll see.
Just drop. I did find it. I actually don't want to give too many clues away because of how many people are going to listen to this, but I found it particularly interesting how you described MJ. There's a way you described him that nobody's ever described him as, and I think that's a
Oh,
clue, but
really?
we shall see. We
Oh,
shall see.
okay. And there's
Um,
also kind of a funny basketball story about me as a child too in the book. So,
yes, yes, there is.
yes.
Yes, there is. So let's talk about the book again, John. So it's called "There's Treasure Inside." I got
Yep.
mine off of Amazon, but when did it
Yep.
come out? Where can you buy it? That sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So it came out, it launched November 12th, and the reception has been just insane. The book became like a national bestseller the first 3 weeks. Literally sold out of every copy that had been printed. That we had books in Barnes and Nobles and all independent bookstores across the country and Amazon. Everything right now is not available, but there are a lot of books that are on their way, and new inventory is going to arrive the first week of January. So I just ask for people to be patient. And also, we're putting together a digital version of the book. It's going to be actually a five-book ebook series, one for each treasure chest. And so there's going to be a digital book available probably in about a week
Okay.
on Amazon. So there will be something that people can get to bridge until they can get
Bridge
the
the
hard
gap.
copy.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
grabbed mine when I could. That's excellent. John, where can people follow you just in case you drop clues or I
Yeah.
know you're on TikTok and Instagram, but
Yeah. Yeah.
what are your handles and everything?
Um, well, the first place I would go for information would be our the website for the book. So that's
Okay.
www.treasureinside.com. I have a whole facts FAQ section, and I will update that anytime something changes or if a box is found or there's anything that someone needs to know that's important. It will always be on that.
Okay.
I do have a TikTok account that's kind of for fun. We do some fun videos on there, kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff. I think my handle is just John Collins Black, but I don't even have it memorized. The same
I'll find it and I'll put it
same on
in the
Instagram
description.
and Twitter. I think that there's also digital Bitcoin in the treasure as well, and I think
Oh, okay.
Twitter's
You've got some
finding out
cold.
about that. So my Twitter following is starting to grow because there's a lot of crypto enthusiasts on
All
Twitter,
right. So we got
or
some cold
X, I should call it
storage.
now.
We
Yeah.
got some cold storage in there. That'll be fun. Um, excellent. Well, John, I feel like I want to be buddies with you and just hang out and hunt treasure. So the next
Well, I
treasure
want to
you
find out, like, you need to keep me abreast of your adventures. And if you go searching for it somewhere or one of the treasures somewhere, you should let me know.
I'm going after the MJ hard. So just letting you know.
But you don't know which boxes. At first, you got to figure out which boxes it's in, right?
See, that sucks. Yeah, I know. It'd be one thing if it's like the MJ, you got to narrow it down. Now I got to read all the other stuff that's in that box.
You
And
do know that, well, at least one of the Pokemon cards is in the Pokemon box, so you do have that.
all right. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I didn't realize it was organized that way. I haven't read the entire book yet. So
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I
yeah.
need to.
Okay.
Excellent. John, thank you. Appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy guy. So this was awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, Nick. It's great.
You got it.